relates primarily to the schools and does not affect the referee. However, you too need to know that field grading and sloping specifications are not rules of conduct, but are only stated for the schools to consider in field construction. Again, we cover this only for your information. Another rule change has to do with the requirement for a substitute to report to the scorekeeper's table and be ready to enter at substitution time. The exception now reads, after a goal is scored or between periods, provided it is done in a timely manner, substitutes are not required to be ready before the period begins or the kickoff to restart the game. Also, we've written a new section for Rule 3.7.3, changing goalkeepers. It states, provided the referee is notified in advance, a teammate on the field may change places with the goalkeeper for the taking of a penalty kick. However, a goalkeeper substitution from the bench is not permitted. Another rule change is to Rule 4.3, numbers mandatory. Note, numbers worn on shorts are optional, but shall not satisfy the requirement for numerals on the front of the jersey. This next change is arguably the most significant one we've made in years. After recommending the use of the diagonal system of control, while also allowing the use of the dual system of control, Rule 5 now requires that the diagonal system of control be used in all games. However, understanding that every so often Murphy's Law will take precedence over any set of rules concocted by human beings, we have outlined 4 exceptions in the newly revised ARs 5.3.1.A and B and C and D. You'll want to study these carefully, but they're essentially the 4 exceptions that were specified in the old rule whenever one or more of the assigned officials did not appear for the game. The committee has considered this change for a number of years. The diagonal system of control that was being used in an increasing number of games is now practically universal in college soccer and assures satisfactory game management by NISOA officials. Although not a change, for emphasis, we've magnified the rule for multiple cards to the same player in the same game. Note, it is not possible for the same player in the same game to be charged with 2 yellow cards. Albeit the second offense may be a cautionable offense, the second card to the same player in the same game shall be red. Further, the player, coach, or bench personnel shall be charged with 1 yellow and 1 red in their respective accumulation record. There still seems to be an occasional misunderstanding. A second offense is always a red card. It cannot be a yellow. The card accumulation record should be correctly recorded with 1 yellow and 1 red card. The next change is to Rule 5.4.4, discretionary powers, enumerating the reasons for which the referee may declare a forfeit by adding a subparagraph 5.4.4.4, which states, a coach and/or institutional representative fails to submit a game roster prior to the beginning of a game. Before now, this forfeit stipulation was included in Rule 3 in the rule about game rosters. In being moved into this section, it should emphasize the importance of the game roster requirement.
This is a problem that need never appear in any game you officiate. Make sure that your referee team conducts a complete pregame. Request a pregame roster if it's not submitted before the game. Once again, NISOA emphasizes the importance of your pregame duties to avoid unnecessary problems.
The next change is to Rule 5.5.8, discretionary power. Suspend the game, stop the clock, and direct the game management personnel to remove whistles, air horns, electronic amplifiers, and any other items which, in the opinion of the referee, are judged to be detrimental to the game. We all realize that soccer is exciting for both the spectators and the participants. The game can even be more exciting when noisemakers are used. However, they can interrupt the game or confuse the players, coaches, or officials. This change allows the referee to suspend play, stop the clock, and direct game management personnel to have the items removed if they negatively interfere with the game. In all cases, discretion and common sense should prevail.